September, an Amtrak train was stopped in Valencia County after a man was stabbed with a machete. Gerald Bell currently faces charges of attempt to commit first-degree murder from that time. According to body cam video, he claims he stabbed Charles Cowley on the train because he said he had a weapon of his own.
This guy that stabbed him said he has a gun, he was going to shoot me, he was going to kill me. There's no gun up there that we've found yet.
A Target 7 investigation, though, revealed while state police didn't find a gun, they did find other things. Cowley, the man who was stabbed, had nearly 20 pounds of meth in his possession, according to state police. In addition, the agency claims he purchased his ticket using his brother's ID. Those who witnessed the incident are asking, how could a machete and drugs end up on the Amtrak train?
So what type of screening do Amtrak passengers actually get before getting on board? Here's John Cardinelli with part 2 of Off the Rails Security.
While working to answer that question, Target 7 discovered there's very little security measures taken before someone gets onto an Amtrak train, and lawmakers are now beginning to ask why. Boarding an Amtrak train,
there was really no protocols,
is not like getting on an airplane.
No safety measures whatsoever.
Just ask someone who's been on one.
They're supposed to have protocols for these type of things. Metal detectors, pat-down screenings. Ridiculous.
In September, an Amtrak train had to make an emergency stop in New Mexico after a man was stabbed, but passengers say that could have been avoided.
I believe if they would have had a metal detector, they would have easily detected that machete.
Those same points are now being echoed by lawmakers in Washington.
You don't have any detectors or anything to go through to get on that train.
That's United States Representative Troy Nehls from Texas. He's the chairman of the subcommittee on railroads, pipelines, and hazardous materials.
Amtrak must prioritize improving its current network, including important system maintenance and upgrades, and improving safety, security, and customer satisfaction issues that have plagued Amtrak for years.
Representative Nehls has always had concerns with Amtrak and its security precautions. But at this June 6 subcommittee meeting, other lawmakers grilled Amtrak President Stephen Gardner about security.
Passenger screening protections on Amtrak are nothing like on air travel, or even what the public must go through to enter into this very building here.
Target 7 was able to obtain a copy of the Amtrak Police Department's Strategic Plan Report for 2022 to 2026. The report shows that in 2021, about 65 passengers were screened per 100,000 people. That's less than 1/1000th of 1%. This is how Gardner responded.
We take security very seriously, and we are using a multi-layered system to protect our passengers and broadly have very good results. Incidents are quite rare on Amtrak.
But those who work on Amtrak trains, like the one where the stabbing happened, seem to disagree.
I've been in incidents like this before.
I've taken guns off of idiots on here.
Data Target 7 received from the subcommittee shows there were 302 assaults across all Amtrak trains in 2021. But remember, the initial incident in Valencia County didn't just involve the stabbing.
Great big bags of meth like that. I opened it up.
Gardner claims they have ways of stopping drugs.
We have a large fleet of trained dogs for both explosives and other interdiction.
According to this most recent Amtrak police report, Target 7 found out there are 50 canines distributed throughout 533 Amtrak stations nationwide. In 2021, there were 370 drug offenses on Amtrak trains. Some, like Representative Nehls, believe those numbers in the hundreds should be zeros.
I can't get on an airplane with a bottle of water.
Some of the lawmakers on the committee feel there needs to be TSA-type security protocols before boarding Amtrak trains. But according to Gardner, there's a problem with that.
Amtrak receives relatively little funding from TSA, and TSA's own program has very relatively little. So for us to increase significantly in this, we do need and will need greater partnerships and support.
After the meeting with the subcommittee in September, Amtrak was awarded $200 million in federal grants to go towards infrastructure and safety. But nowhere in their budget does it mention increasing security protocols, leaving those who ride Amtrak still asking why.
That should have never happened. Able to get on with the machete.
Target 7 also discovered there are about 407 Amtrak officers dispersed across more than 500 stations nationwide. For Target 7, I'm John Cardinelli.
You can watch part 1 of the investigation on KOAT.com. Click the Target 7 section.